This video will demonstrate French door gasket replacement and adjustments on your GDM-30 or GDM-36. First, you should remove the French door gasket from both doors. Both gaskets must be replaced to ensure proper operation. Starting at the top, pull the gasket out of the aluminum door frame. Then pull the inner dart out of the plastic door gasket retainer, also starting at the top. Next, you want to make sure the bumpers are attached to each of the 4 door stop brackets. The brackets are located at the top and bottom of both coolers. To install a bumper, insert it into the hole in the door stop bracket. While applying inward pressure, turn the bumper clockwise until it snaps in place. Pull on the head of the bumper to make sure to securely fasten. You want to make sure the cabinet is level.
The spacing between the doors is very important. To aid with this, a tool has been included with the gasket kit.
Check the spacing in between the doors with the T-spacer. If the T-spacer fits too loose or too tight, the left door top and bottom hinges will need to be adjusted. First, remove the screws holding the top hinge covers in place. Use a Phillips screwdriver to check that the screws in the top right hinge bracket are tight. Make sure the bottom right hinge is parallel with the side of the cabinet. Using a 3/8 inch socket wrench, make sure the bolts are tight.
Once completed, loosen the 3 screws in the rear of the top left hinge bracket. If your cabinet has Phillips screws, replace these screws with the Torx screws provided in the kit when replacing the screws. Using a 3/8 inch socket wrench, loosen the bolts slightly in the bottom left of the hinge bracket.
Insert a T-spacer between the doors.
With the T still in place, apply pressure to the left side of the door. Tighten the Torx screws in the top hinge bracket to 55 inch-pounds of pressure, and then in the bottom hinge bracket. Check to see that the T fits snug between the doors, but are not so tight that it can't be removed easily. If they are loose or too tight, repeat the previous steps. Then remove the T.
Now install the gaskets. Open the right-hand door. Remove the vertical section of the perimeter door gasket nearest the middle of the cooler. This will allow access to the channel in the gasket retainer. Use care not to stretch the gasket. You will then locate the right-hand French door gasket. The gasket's plugs are located at the end of the gasket and are labeled R1 and R2. R is labeled for the right gasket and left is labeled for the left gasket. Keep in mind that the top gasket is labeled R2 or L2 and the bottom of the gaskets are R1 and L1. Start at the top and push the 90-degree dart into the channel in the plastic gasket retainer. Make sure that the dart fully seats into the channel. If a section of the dart does not fully seat, this will push the gasket out and keep the door from closing. While using your finger, keep applying constant pressure on the dart while working your way to the bottom of the gasket. A soapy water solution may be applied to make installation easier. When finished, run your finger behind the dart to make sure it is fully installed into the channel of the retainer. Make sure the gasket plug is even with the top of the door. Install the outer dart into the groove. Reinstall the perimeter door gasket by pushing the dart into the channel of the plastic gasket retainer. Install the corners first, working your way to the middle. Make sure the flap on the French door gasket sits on top of the perimeter gasket. Then close the right door. You will then install the left door gasket using the same procedure. To replace the perimeter door gasket, start at the corners and remove the gasket going around the edges. When putting on the new gasket, make sure to use the top of the gasket with the cutout that matches up with the door bumper bracket. Start at the corners and work your way around. Once completed, make sure the flap on the French door gasket lays on top of the perimeter door gasket. Test the door operation. Open the right door 6 inches by pulling on the handle. Let go of the handle and the door should close. Repeat on the left door. If the doors do not close, inspect for darts not fully engaged. If none found, increase the gap between the doors by readjusting the left hinges. Do not adjust the tension of the door cartridge as a solution to make the door close properly. For additional assistance or questions, please contact True's Technical Service Department at 1-855-372-1368.